Oh, sick. Oh. How's it going, everybody? It's your bro, Steeltown Fro, and I'm sorry for not getting this thing up and running a little bit earlier. I don't know why, but I always seem to have problems when it comes to these streams. So, huh? Okay. I need to. What's it at? You wanna pass me that other controller over there? You wanna also turn off that volume there? Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Goodness. As per usual, the stream's starting off kind of slow. Okay. Sorry about all that. So, here we are. How's it going? It's your bro, Steel Tonfro. I'm doing this intro again because why not? And this is week 3 of the weekly check-in. Let's see. Camera's looking all right. First things first, I've got a new mic now. So I used to have this other one. Would you mind grabbing that for me? And take off my gloves. Stop touching things that do not concern you. Please pick the one glove off the ground. Thank you. So, I used to be using this guy here, and oh goodness, he's already kind of dirty just from the 2 seconds that he's been off. But this is the guy I was using. This is a Zoom H2N. It's a handy recorder. It's literally what it says on the back. H2N handy recorder. Um, but it's but that's the microphone I've been using for the longest while. My friend Seth sent me this one when he sent me back my tower, but I just needed to wait for the mic arm to come in the mail. So now that I have that, we're pretty much using this microphone forever now. Perfect. Um, yeah. So I don't know. Y'all just tell me like how's everyone doing? How's your week been? Have you been working because you're essential, or have you been staying at home because you don't have work? How's everything been lately? Just yeah, just let me know. And while you do that, I'm gonna make sure that everybody knows that I'm live right now. Let's see. I'm gonna do it in Twitter chat. There we go. That's one. Try for a bit. There we go. Post it to Facebook. There we go. We're doing all right. Thanks to my one watcher for being here. I think it says to, but I'm also like watching my own live. just to keep track, I suppose. But I got some things I want to talk about. Okay. And I want to just start by searching up this. There's a lot of stuff going around with like the whole Black Lives Matter movement coming back into the thing, and just everything that's been happening the past little bit while we already have quarantine going on, while we already have COVID being an issue. And I kind of want to get some, I guess, like input. Like I want to hear what everybody's saying. Like what is your opinion on the matter? Uh or like, do you think, like, what do you think about it all, I guess? Some There we go. Sorry, I just needed to do that one more time. There we go. Um, Control C. And we're just gonna do this in other places too. Uh, um, but yeah, I don't know, cause like I just feel like this whole thing. I don't know. It's doing a thing. It's doing a thing. This thing is doing a thing. But on the real, I week's been all right. Went to work. Totally forgot to do everything regarding the channel and my brand. But I do have a kind of poll that I want to start running past everybody. Um, because in all honesty, I've had multiple friends of mine be like, "Hey, like, should have you ever considered doing live streams on Twitch instead of YouTube?" And I think I want to get some. I think I want to get some input on that. I just like, for whatever reason, YouTube has become a lot easier to access and navigate on mobile, I find, than it is on desktop. So I'm having a whole issue with this right now. Dead ass a whole issue. Um Scheitza. Um I think we need a poll. And I don't know how to do that on like actual YouTube videos, like on live streams, I mean, cuz it's like it's so different. So I should find out analytics, stream health, stream settings, enable auto start and auto stop. Who are my participants? It's just me? Is it really just me? That's upsetting. I want to see what's going on. I want to do stuff. I want to do stuff. Whatever, I guess this is just how it be. But in any case, I'm going to be putting up a poll on my Twitter channel, my Twitter page, as well as my Facebook page. Um, and I guess I'll put one on my Instagram story as well. And pretty much just gonna be whether y'all would prefer if I continue to do these live streams on YouTube, or if you would prefer if I switched over to Twitch, or if you just don't really have a preference. Um, if you want to go in that bag there, there's a set of headphones. There's like a headset in there. Yeah, it might take a bit of. There you go. And then you just plug that end piece into the controller there. Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm just gonna put up a whole like poll thing and just see what everybody's feeling, because if y'all would prefer if I went on Twitch, then like I will. But for now, I think I'll just keep it on YouTube. By the way, at SteelTownFro for all of my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have a TikTok account now. I don't really know what I'm going to do with that. I've never been good at that kind of like 7 seconds of fame type shit. Never really hopped on Vine. I just watched them recreationally. But yeah, I think that'll be the grind, or that'll be the question. Y'all would. And I think when I say streams, I mean like the video game streams. I'll still do my weekly check-ins on here, I guess, and there'll still be like probably little like video content that I put up on here. I think because I'm kind of just sticking to the streams, I'm not sure if I really want to move that whole thing to a different platform, because I kind of feel like I'm starting over again. But I feel like that's definitely something that I want to get going, you know? There we go. Let's see if anybody answers that ever. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, like, on the real though, what's up? What's good? I'm doing stuff. And I hope everybody plans on tuning in for my regular 5 o'clock Persona 5 Royal on Merciless stream. That's, I guess, the big one. Of course, if you guys would like coming to these two, that'd be great. That'd be nice. I'm kind of just doing this, I guess, more for myself than anything else. But, of course, like, if people want to join, I ain't gonna stop you. Let's see. Let's go to the YouTube studio real quick on here, because I need to get rid of YouTube. There we go. Delete forever. There we go. you can. There we go. Glad I got that over with. So, if I remember the time difference, definitely. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's fair. Hi, Rhiannon. Oh my gosh. I'm so tired. I was up kind of late last night, and then I think I passed out in the middle of a Discord call with some friends, so that was great. Um, it'd be like really cool. Well, I mean, I guess that's like basically the epitome of all other social media, but I was like, I think it'd be really cool in Discord if you could like have like your account be like a thing that people could like follow and like kind of like on Facebook and Instagram and like literally every other social media platform, but like on Discord. I'm funny. So let's see. If it helps, I'm doing it at 5, so even with the time difference, so like just think about it of in 1 hour and 40 minutes. In 1 hour and 40 minutes, I will be live streaming Persona 5 Royal. And I think that's, well, but actually, while I still have you here, Rhiannon, what is your view on everything that's going on right now with, and I think I'm just curious because I've heard a lot of people kind of like, I don't know, talk about it, I guess, and I've never really been the type of person who gets super into stuff like civil rights. And I think it's just because I'm privileged enough to be surrounded by people for which that isn't a problem for me, you know? Like, I understand why the Black Lives Matter movement is a thing, but I just, I guess the best way to put it is that, like, I can't relate right now. Like, I can't relate to that feeling of needing to have my life be seen as equal by the people who hold control over that very life, I suppose, to an extent. Because, like, it's like the people that surround me treat me as an equal. And I haven't had enough encounters with authorities where I felt like my life was not being treated equal as to other lives. Like, I don't know. I guess what I mean is the Black Lives Matter movement seems very much so like a problem that varies in intensity by community. So I don't really like, I guess there's a way I could feel on behalf of the other people, but I don't know how to feel about it from a personal standpoint because personally, I have no reason to feel too strongly for it based off of my own experiences. And I'm just like interested in whether or not other people share that same like idea. Um so I guess that's my question to you, Rhiannon. Uh is whether or not you feel a certain way about that. And I mean like I think the other viewer is just me, but if the other viewer is someone else, then well, that's my question to you as well, is how do you feel about it? Or like do you feel like being part of the movement matters as much given the experiences of your personal life, I guess. Like in your community, do you feel like you would need to start a BLM movement in order for people to care, or do you feel like people already care enough for the those of minority, I suppose, that exist in your community? When the mic isn't strong enough to pick up my piano anymore, we need to get louder. That was really loud for me, but I'm pretty sure y'all were just finally starting to hear it. So I'm just gonna turn off the piano for now. I've always been a little more conscious of that. Honestly, I get that. I grew up under the golden rule philosophy: treat others as you would want to be treated. Yep. And I've always been a little more conscious of that. Although growing up in a white majority area has made me more aware of the microaggressions and subtle racism that does occur here due to the above average age population and lack of knowledge. Okay. Okay, I got you. I guess like part of it is just like for whatever reason I'm not sure how much of what goes on just hasn't been going on in my life and how much of it goes on and I've become so desensitized to it. Uh, I feel that something like the BLM movement here would be seen as a bit unnecessary and out of place because of those gaps in our society. We live in a society. Okay. Yeah, I get that. That makes a lot of sense, especially given like where where you live. Um and and obviously if there's a lot more white people, if there's a larger majority of white people where you live and they're all also older for the most part, it's like I would see that there's definitely that generational gap of just like you've never known anything besides like I guess white supremacy, or just like the idea of other people are just simply lesser. And it's weird because like really it makes no sense. My mom sent me this like, and when I say it makes no sense, it I'm referring to is like the general thought process behind white supremacy and behind people who are still very for the idea of white supremacy, the supremacists, uh, if you will. But I hmm I guess the way I want to put it is that there we go. Now I remember. So my mom actually she sent me this video on Instagram. It was like one of those IGTV videos, and the guy in it, right? He was talking about essentially like the roots of white supremacy and the roots of like the whole like racist movement. Essentially, it's weird to call it a movement, but like that's kind of how it was. Um, and essentially how it goes in history is like, yo, like all these Europeans were like, hey, let's start exploring the world, and they started running into like, well, people who looked different, right? And that's not even technically where it really starts. Where it really starts is when they decided to just start taking all of the land and all of the food and like raping the women and killing the men and like uh having the children work for them kind of deal. And obviously the guy's kind of like saying it like, I'm not sure if he cited any sources specifically. um so it's not to say that what I'm saying here is like the truth and the fact of the matter of it all. But it seems pretty like logical when you really think about it. Like, it makes sense. Is like the idea of white supremacy, of like we're better than them, and that's why like was just like them justifying stealing all their shit. Like they just go and they pilfer and they rob and they murder, and the justification was just like we're better. And I think that slowly devolved from like this we have the better weapons to like simply we are just the ones who were meant to do this. Like, this was the plan. We are to rule over these people. Um, and that was something that the Catholic Church tolerated at the time. Like, that was something they enabled, as per the video that I watched. And like I said before, the guy, at least as far as I watched, hadn't necessarily listed any specific sources for this, um, or any real evidence towards it. And I feel like sometimes that's just like, that's the part people like skipping out on. If things make enough sense, they're just like, oh, why do I need to verify that all of these things are 100% true? Which actually brings me into another so interesting topic, about how there's, well, I mean, we've all been dealing with COVID long enough. I feel like you and I are aware of just the number of conspiracy theories that there are, about how COVID started, about why it took us this long for everybody to get on board, about why it's not over yet. Um, Regardless of the justification, I feel that there's a huge lack of ethics in that thinking. Yeah, yeah. I mean, technically speaking, these kinds of decisions, like, this is like 600-year-old type stuff that we're talking about. This is like the dawn of the new world. So ethics definitely wasn't a thing when that started. Like, it's definitely not something that was around. Like, we're talking about like we're talking about a time in history that spans most of human history, really, even up to present day, where mm, status was everything. If you didn't have status, you were basically trash, you know. Um, in terms of at least how the white, like, honestly, that's just how every world operated. Like, there are certain societies that existed in the old world that had like a bit better of a ranked system of like, you could not have a specific status, but everybody was still useful, everybody did their part. But in a world of kingdoms and nobility, if you weren't a noble, you basically weren't worth anything. Like, they had this kind of concept that like, if they just had nobility, somehow they'd find a way to just get more peasants to do their work and they'd be fine. So like, obviously, like, you're not really going to be taking into account the lives of other people who already look different from the people who live in your society, of which there are a great many that you already see as lesser than yourself. Ethics definitely wasn't a thing back when that kind of justification was allowed to happen, you know? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for real. The sad a lot of people still think that about a person's family status. Yeah. And I think, like, as much as I can't always relate to the struggles that a lot of black Americans are having, and that a lot of black Canadians are probably having, and that a lot of indigenous people are having, like, I can't relate to a lot of those struggles just because of where I happen to be born, I guess. But like, that's why I still, in my own kind of like way, I guess, at least in spirit, like, I still support these kinds of movements. If I had the kind of money spare to just be like, I mean, like, I guess like every dollar helps is kind of the idea. I just haven't really thought about donating, but if I were to think about donating, like, I'd donate to, the charities and foundations that are helping fund and support this movement, because there are still people like that, and that's not okay in the type of society we live in now. Like, the type of civilization that we've become as a human race, it's not allowed. Like, that kind of thinking just doesn't work, because here's the thing: you can raise your status now. It is a lot easier in today's world than it ever has been to be a rags to riches story. Like, it's more difficult doing that when everybody else is doing that, in a way, but like, it's a lot easier because of the fact that it's an open avenue for everybody. I think ethics was a thing back then. It just wasn't seen as of high importance the way land, power, personal gain, etc. were at that time, which in a lot of ways is still the way our society functions. Yeah, yeah. There's definitely still a whole lot of like, stuff matters, but only if you're the right person. It's like, okay, like, ethics, but if you don't have a penny to your name, you know, there's definitely still a whole lot of dodgy shit happening. And I think the unfortunate thing at the end of it all is that a lot of people who are part of these movements, a part of, like, Black Lives Matter movements, trans right movements, um, like, even uh, Pride, uh, like, in the whole like LGBTQI plus community. I don't know what it is now. The acronym's always changing, but um, the thing behind all of those is, like, unfortunately there are some people in there who are fighting for a utopia that will never exist. There are some people, I think, that are on a slightly more reasonable side of it, but like, unfortunately, the point of the fight is to end the fight, but the fight can't be ended. And I think a lot of people are really, really hoping for that day to be like next year, you know? Like, I think some people are just like, oh yeah, someday soon we'll be here, and I think unfortunately that will just never be the case. Um, I don't think we'll ever be 100% okay with LGBTQ community. I don't think we'll ever be 100% okay with trans rights. I don't think we, like, as a society, I mean, I don't think 100% of humans on Earth until the end of fucking time will be okay with people who aren't white. And it's a sad fact, but it's like it's the best. It's a realistic one too, you know. Um, and I think unfortunately that's just how it has to be at this point in time. Like we can't change everyone's mind. I don't even think we can change the minds that need to be changed uh, in order for this to be less of an issue. I think I think a lot of people are under the impression that they can change minds. And here's the thing, the movement's not about changing people's minds, it's about changing the mind of society. LGBTQIA2 plus. What the Okay. Nothing against the community, but like, fuck, that's way too many letters. Just stop already. Like, I love you guys, and I think we all get it now. Like, it's a rainbow. Just, if we're gonna go rainbow mode, just stick to 7 letters. Maximum 7 letters. Honestly, if you want everybody to be okay with, if you want everybody to actually say the full thing, then like stick it to the first 4. But like 7 letters maximum. We can't keep going like this. Ugh. But sorry, that's besides the point. And that's like less me bashing on the community and more just me bashing on the fact that the acronym never stays the same. Um okay, so yes, I agree with you there. There's always something that makes someone uncomfortable or whatever with the way another human is, particularly if they're different from themselves. Yeah, I'm telling you. The acronym, it's that's going to be the thing that gets me, guys. Um but yeah, it's just like there's never not going to be a battle. And I think we just need to focus on not flipping the tables, but evening the playing field. I think some people are trying to flip the tables, and I think that's why nobody's really going for the super obvious responses to this problem. I've seen posts by some of my black friends who have been straight up just being like, why not loot and riot? Why not show them how angry we are? We've done enough of this peaceful bullshit, and everybody just keeps fucking pushing us around. And I'm just sitting here like, I mean, okay, if you want to be the ones in charge of rebuilding society from the ground up, and then also at the same time, it's just like you're trying to show them that you're superior. And not only are you completely counteracting the idea, right, with looting and rioting and making a mess of everything, not only are you completely proving yourselves and everyone else, like everyone who wanted to support you, wrong, you know? Like it's, yeah, an eye for the eye and the whole world goes blind. Like, there we fucking go. So simply put. You know, I literally was going to put it so much worse than how Rhiannon just put it. An eye for an eye and the whole world goes blind. And like, even before that, honestly, like, here's the thing. The problem for people with the Black Lives Matter movement shouldn't be every single human who doesn't think Black Lives Matter. I think that the problem for them to solve should be the higher ups who control the positions that the people who don't think Black Lives Matter are in. if you want police officers that aren't gonna kill black people in the middle of the streets for no damn reason, then literally elect a new enforcement officer who will make sure that the right chiefs and officers are put into those positions. Like, there are government positions that literally have control over this kind of shit. Like, you're sitting here wondering how the fucking police chief gets hired if he's supposed to be the guy above all of the police officers. Well, there's a guy above the chief of police. Wouldn't you know? I don't know. I think a lot of people right now are just very. Ironically enough, the whole situation seems to be black or white. It's either protest peacefully or fucking destroy everything. And for a group of people who are trying to eliminate the entire barrier that exists between black and white, they're not seeing a whole lot of gray. And wouldn't you freaking reckon that the gray area is the most important part? It's just some food for thought, fam. I don't get it. Society's weird. It is almost 4 o'clock, which means we don't have much longer before this weekly check-in live stream ends. And I will need to go get ready for the Persona 5 Royal live stream, which is happening at 5. I have not eaten yet. I have not showered yet. My hair looks like an absolute mess. And I'm still so sleepy. I don't even know why. There needs to be a lot more education in terms of changing things like that, in my opinion. Nothing in life has ever and will never be black or white. Damn straight. Damn straight. The grade area is definitely the most important. That's where the learning and understanding comes in. We said it here first, folks. I'm telling you, we said it here first. And more people need to know that. I kind of want to do a hot take on my Twitter page right now and just be high key, all these white, black, Asian, indigenous, mixed, all these kinds of people be out here Black Lives Matter, hating on the white man and missing all the gray. For a bunch of people who are trying to eliminate the barrier between black and white, they're really thinking in a lot of black and white. Whoa. But that's just me. That's my hot take for the day, and it's not even going in a post. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to eat some food, take a shower, maybe finish this dry cider. Extra dry cider. This thing almost tastes like beer, but I'm going to finish it. And then, you know what? I'll see y'all in an hour and 10 minutes or so. So in about an hour, just check back in. I'll probably start the stream a little bit earlier just to give everybody a bit of time to hop on. Rhiannon, don't be late. I mean, it's fine if you're late. I'll be going for 5 hours, but don't forget. Thank you for tuning in, Rhiannon. Thank you to everybody who tuned into this week of the weekly check-in. And I'll see y'all next Monday for another weekly check-in. But more importantly, I'll see you in about an hour with some Persona 5 Royal. Peace out.